The Boston Celtics have just completed the most remarkable one-year turnaround in the history of the NBA, from 29 victories to 61. And a big reason why has been the arrival of this man, rookie Larry Bird. Today you'll see Larry and the Celtics matched against the Philadelphia 76ers on CBS.
The NBA on CBS. Today's game is sponsored by Tegrin Medicated Shampoo. With regular use, Tegrin helps control even problem dandruff. Light beer, everything you always wanted in a beer, and less. And by the folks at Kentucky Fried Chicken, who want you to feel good about a meal.
From the Spectrum in Philadelphia, it's the NBA Game of the Week on CBS, the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Brent Musburger, along with Bill Russell and Hot Rod Hundley. Gentlemen, I've already mentioned the Celtics with that marvelous 61 victory performance this year. So what might have been the game to decide that really doesn't have as much significance as it appeared to have earlier. And Bill Russell, what does that mean for Billy Cunningham and the 76ers? What will they do today?
Well, one thing they're going to have to find out is they got a few guys hurt. And one of the keys to playing good basketball is durability and able to play with injuries, not to get hurt, but to play with pain. And they're going to have to find out, because they don't have the rest, because they didn't get it by. They're going to have to find out what kind of combination they can use today and play in case some of these guys are hurt during the playoffs.
Hot Rod, what will Bill Fitch and the Celtics do?
I think that this is going to be the first Sunday that they can sit back and relax a little bit. Everybody's going to play, but they want to win the basketball game because the playoffs are coming up. They've done a great job. They won the 61 games, but this is the first Sunday that they have had a chance to come out and let a lot of people play. And I think you'll see Maravich, who has played sensational in the last couple of games. He's had 14 out of 18 shots in the fourth quarter alone on Tuesday and Wednesday nights.
What's the status of the doctor, Julius Irving, today, Bill?
He has fluid on his knee, so they're not going to play him. Because, as I said, they don't have a break. They're going to have to start pretty quick in the playoffs because they have this marvelous record they had. They're runner-ups.
They have won 58 games this year, and here they are, headed for a mini-series, and they still don't know whether it will be the Washington Bullets or the New York Knicks. Let's check the starting lineups for you this afternoon. Bill Fitch, who directed this incredible turnabout by the Celtics, will start Bird, Carr, Robey, Archibald, and Ford. Dave Cowens will not be able to play because of that injured toe. Billy C. will counter with Jones, Mix, Chocolate Thunder, Darryl, Dawkins, Hollins, and Bibby. And the officials for this afternoon's game here in the Spectrum in Philadelphia: Paul Mahalik on the left, Bill Oakes on the right, and we'll be underway. I mentioned the 76ers not knowing who they will play. An assistant coach by the name of Chuck Daly is going to be leaving the Spectrum about halftime to go over to Piscataway, New Jersey, to scout the game between the Nets and the Bullets, because that will determine who the 76ers play. I'll now update some scores and I'll finish that thought in a moment. Chicago defeated Utah in the game last night. Utah and Golden State, of course, are deadlocked in that battle for the worst record in the Western Conference. And should both win or both lose today and they remain tied, then Utah and Golden State will draw tomorrow to see which one will flip the Boston Celtics on Tuesday for the right to the NBA's top pick. Now, if the Bullets win this afternoon, beat New Jersey in a game that will start later, then the 76ers would be playing the Bullets. But if the Nets come back and beat the Bullets, then it would be the Knicks and the 76ers. And how ironic for the New Jersey Nets to be holding the future of the New York Knicks in their hands this afternoon. And there's the man we have spoken of so often, Larry Bird, number 33, the rookie from Indiana State. And I can't wait to see how Bill Russell evaluates his play as this game unfolds. And this, an incredible first-year performance by Larry.
Well, his thigh is really bruised.
Yes, what did he get, kneed there? And that it is. I can see over on the right leg. He's not wearing a bandage on it, and it is a deep bruise on the upper part of Larry Bird's right leg. So we would imagine that he would get some rest here in this game now too. Mix, who has replaced Irving, handed it off to Bibby, and the 76ers in their home white control the tap. Caldwell Jones broke his nose on CBS a week ago on the second play. Completed the first half and then left. That's why he is wearing the mask. Henry Bibby hits the first field goal.
You know, I was talking to Billy Cunningham before the game, Brent, and he said something which was absolutely true, is that the players have to play full speed at time like this, because when you get hurt, it's not when you're playing full speed, but when you're playing half speed. When you're trying to slow down and be careful, or that's full speed. That is full speed.
Did they open the door on that one? You see Dawkins coming at you. No one wanted to step in his path.
I know. I wouldn't close that door.
No way. Oh, boy.
Carr moves it to Ford. It bounces into Larry. Larry's second shot's a left-hander. He's 0 for 2. Knocked away out of Hollins. Got it.
He gave about 3 fakes there, Brent, but Caldwell Jones, a fine defensive player, did not go for any of the fakes.
Bibby motors inside, had it knocked away by Robey and runs it down. He'll try to get up over Larry, and he's 2 of 2. 76ers build a 6-point advantage on the Celtics. Rick Robey puts the Celts on the board.
He's had a remarkable year, Rick Robey. You know, Collins was hurt a great part of the year, and he came in, and he's a young fella too. They're one of the guys that's so important in this turnaround that the Celtics have, because most of the time you take a player of Collins' ability and you take him out of the lineup, a team, especially in the close race they've been in all year, there may be a tendency to use an excuse, and they've played quite well with Rick Robey at center.
Bibby got that basket. He's hit 3 in a row, Brent, for Philadelphia. Henry's been in and out of the lineup as a starter. Of course, with Collins out, he's moved back in there along with Cheeks being out of this game.
You know, in a game like this, the coach's strategy usually goes out the window. The coaches will say, okay, I don't want to get anybody hurt. I want everybody to play 10 to 15 minutes, and we'll just keep our time. And the players get into a confrontation situation because they'd like to establish something for the playoffs. And so they're out there playing just as hard as if it's the first game of the season. And so pretty soon the coaches get caught up in it. And they change their game plan. In other words, the guy that says nobody's going to play over 30 minutes, and you'll end up with some guy playing 35, 40 minutes because they end up wanting to win this game.
Henry made a good move there, Brent. He took him to the baseline right side, and he almost got the field goal. He would have counted had he made it.
Henry Bibby starts off with 8 points, 3 field goals, and a pair of free throws, and the Sixers build a 10-4 advantage on the Celts. 9:34 to go in the first period.
10-4, over and out.
The Celts are the best 3-point team in the league. Carr was inside the extra point line that time with the shot.
Good thing he had the glass up there, Russ. That one would have gone out of the spectrum.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You know, that's a fine for breaking backboards now, isn't it?
That's right.
He's been one of the guys that's been really important in the Boston Celtics turnaround too, Emil Carr. Because Red told me that he's played forward, he's played guard, he's played big guys, he's played little guys, he's played everywhere, and he's just done a great job for him.
Bibby misses that time. Carr rebounds. And ML. And the Celts are off as far as their shooting is concerned here early, aren't they?
That would have been a remarkable shot. Bird double pumped it, winged it up, almost made it a little bit too hard off the glass.
Robey went inside to Chris Ford, who got Jones in the air, and Bird's got an offensive basket at the rebounding end.
He'll shoot the ball with the left hand as he did there, just as quickly as with the right on a rebound play. That's the second time in the game he's taken left-handed shots.
Defensively, he's out against Caldwell Jones. Robey matched against Dawkins. Hollins fouled by Ford as he came up to release.
Ford, of course, is 6'5". There's Pete Maravich, a 6'5" guard. Both great outside shooters. And Maravich will spell forward, I would believe, the first time he would enter the ballgame.
Bill Fitch telling us before the game, when asked whether or not Maravich was yet in shape, said not really. On a scale of 1 to 10, he's a 7.
I'm going to leave that alone.
Yeah.
Bird with a great flip on the outlet pass, and Carr comes down. And credit Larry Bird was starting this play out here. He just went up in the air and batted it out, and then forward went to Carr. And that pulls the Celts to within 1. Bill, how important was it for the Celtics to have a winning tradition when they came back and put this franchise back together? Did that have any meaning to these players? The fact that you guys used to tear the league up annually?
I don't think so. I think that what really gives meaning is the organization. The organization, the front office, has to be aware of what it takes to win and be willing to get players that are going to do that or try to get players that will do that. I think the tradition really is knowledge of what it takes to win.
Mix tapping that in for the 76ers. Archibald missing, knocked away by Dawkins, and the Celts will have the inbounds pass. And Rick Robey of Kentucky walks over it, and there's Chocolate Thunder.
Got the gold going for him.
As Ford had it knocked away, and here comes the big fella. Puts it down in the middle and says, "Let's go, little man."
Archibald, the only man back.
And the Celts respond in a hurry, as they always do. Carr from behind his back. And ML had it knocked away by Bibby. Bird regains control, and here's ML. Corner, it's Chris Ford who's behind the line, and he'll take a three-pointer. Just off, and Caldwell Jones runs it down. 17-10, Sixers over the Celts early in the first. Mix. Comes in on ML. Short. Robey to Archibald. Down the middle.
That's a little baby Darryl Dawkins move there. Just a little one.
But nobody got out of his way.
Well, it's been pretty rough here early, Brent. Even though the game doesn't mean anything as far as the standings, Philadelphia's looking to win 60 games. Playing hard.
Well, the runner. Robey sent it back to Archibald. And from the perimeter, it's Larry Bird. Misfiring, and Bibby puts it to the floor. He'll come in on Archibald, and Larry's right there. Caldwell Jones, offensive rebound, fouled by Carr, and ML doesn't like the call.
Caldwell never really got up as high as he normally would, and it made it possible for Carr to block. I thought he made a good block, but they called a foul. He'll get a couple of free throws when we come back.
Don't forget that our playoff coverage on CBS starts next Friday night, 11:30 Eastern Time, and then a doubleheader next Sunday. Bill Russell, do you ever wear a mask like Caldwell Jones has attached today?
No, I never got my nose broken. I did get hit in the eye a few times, but that's one of the things that's part of what makes some of these athletes so remarkable is the fact that they can play and concentrate with certain distractions. Now that mask has to be a distraction, but this team needs him. He's one of the guys that holds his team together. He doesn't require a lot of shots. You can see that by his scoring average. But he has to play the game of rebounding, defense, and passing. And so he's mentally a tough guy. And this is just an indication of it, playing with this mask and being effective as he is.
Bill, speaking of rebounding, Larry Bird has pulled down 5 already, but doesn't have a shooting touch quite yet. He is 1 of 6 so far.
I want to tell you something. It's a very tough combination, the shooting touch and rebounding. It's a tough combination to have because you're using the muscles the opposite way. And there have been few players that have been able to do that. Elgin Bailey was one of them. Bob Pettit was one of them that could rebound, strong rebounders, and good shooters.
Chris Ford had it knocked away.
Here's the move. Ford is a simple fake, and Hollins, pretty good defense player, got the left hand in to knock the ball away and out of bounds.
Archibald. And they go inside to Robey, who will left-hand hook on Dawkins, and Darryl snaps it down and off quickly now to Lionel Hollins. It's 2-on-2, 3-on-2, Bibby. Bibby off to a marvelous start here.
And that's a great pass, perfect pass by Hollins. Bounced it. The defender could not get down low enough to get to the ball, and Bibby had the layup.
And what he did is he put it out in front and let the receiver run to the ball. Rather than trying to pinpoint the pass, you put it out in front, and then when he catches it, he can catch it on the move and do a good job with it.
Bird playing catch with Chris Ford, and now he's 2 of 7.
Pretty good pivot man move. Turned quick to the left, hit the jump shot, and he was fouled on the play.
He did pop fast, didn't he? You know, the Celtics have the league's best record on the road as well as overall. And, of course, Larry Bird, obviously a big reason there. Their average margin of victory this year is 8 points, and that's by far the best in the NBA. And the Celtics have won 26 of the 29 games in which they have held opponents under 100 points. So defense frequently a tip-off as to how well a team is going to do in any game in basketball. It's now 21-15, Sixers over the Celtics.
This being the 6th and final game, the first 5 games were won by the home team. Boston's won 3 at Boston.
Dawkins just a touch short. Chris is off now to Tiny. Tiny's lead pass to Robey. Robey comes in. He'll go to that left hand on Dawkins and get the roll.
That was an exceptionally good shot because the defensive man was right in his face all the way, and Robey got the field goal.
Pressure by Ford. Lionel Hollins, formerly of the Portland Trailblazers. He was on the championship team under Jack Ramsey. Comes inside at Chris. Snapped down by M.L. Carr, and the Celtics break back quickly with that patented fast break. Here's Carr. Moves it in now to Robey. And he's got another hoop underneath.
Like Dawkins thought he was going to go up on the left-hand side. He reversed it. Smart play.
One of the keys to Bill Fitch and the Celtics this year was the time they lost Dave Cowens. Everyone expected they might sag, but instead Robey stepped in there, Fernston backed him up, and they went off on another tear. Bibby right on the money now, and here in the first period, 12 points for Henry Bibby. Boy, is that important for the 76ers, who have lost Doug Collins, and Robey drew the foul that time. He was shoved. And here come to the free throw line with Bobby Jones checking in.
You know, if I were guarding him around the basket,
Is this Robey, Bill?
Yes, if I was guarding Robey around the basket, if he came to me around the basket, I would play him to shoot left-handed. Because he seems to prefer to shoot left-handed around the basket when he's close.
Oh, maybe Dawkins is playing the right hand, though, and he's coming back the other way. Is that possible?
I would make him shoot right-handed for a while, no matter what he does. You see, what the defensive player tries to do, you can't block all the shots. You can't stop a guy. What you want to do is to throw his timing or his routine off. You see, so that if he wants to shoot left-handed, okay, so he's got to shoot right-handed. That may make him think just enough to miss a shot.
On the traveling, it'll go over.
The man that backs up Robey, Brent, an interesting comment from Bill Fitch, Eric Fernston. We should call him Fernstein on the air because he plays better.
Larry dishes it back to Tiny, over to Chris in the corner. Tiny, he got it, and it's 23-22. 1 point game now, 76ers ahead of the Celtics.
There's a key player, Tiny Archibald, for Boston's playoff hopes because he's a great penetrator, and they're going to really be playing tough in the middle when you get to playoff time, and he'll be the man who'll have to key their fast break for them.
Hollins jumps it into Dawkins, and Robey with a hand on it. Ford can't run it down. Interesting thing about the Celtics, when they take trips across country under Bill Fitch, he takes along a projector and film, and they watch films up there on the airplane. You know, some teams would not be receptive to that. That's kind of intruding on the player's time as Robey came up but scored. Goaltending on Mix's shot, put it down. But Bill Fitch has apparently got the group of athletes that he wants that will listen to a coach and work hard to improve themselves.
Well, that's one of the things that Red does is he's picking the players that, if he has a choice of picking players that they're going to draft or trade for. Attitude is one of the most important factors. Does a guy want to play on a winning team? Because there are sacrifices you have to make in order for your team to win. If you're going to go for statistics and statistics alone, you won't be necessarily a winning player.
A lesson to be learned in any sport, I would think. Timeout in Philly, 2:55 left in the first. Jim Spanarkel, the rookie from Duke, checks in for Billy Cunningham. Lionel Hollins is out, and Tiny Archibald's at the free throw line. Another decision to be reached today as far as the playoff picture is concerned. San Antonio, Houston, who will have the home court advantage in the odd game? Well, all Houston has to do to wrap that up is beat Indiana. Detroit is also at San Antonio, and Houston has a road game, and should San Antonio win and Houston lose, then they would open up in San Antonio, and the Spurs would have the odd game advantage. Here's Henry Bibby, who's had a fine first period here in Philadelphia. They lead it by a point over the Celtics, 25-24. Nick's looking for a receiver, and there was a foul inside Bobby Jones, who checked it.
Hey, Rick Robey
By
had him
Robey.
cutting through. That's going to be a tough chance for Houston to get that home court advantage. They got to beat Indiana at Indiana, I believe, Brent. Now, they're not going to lay back. You can bet on that.
Spanarkel lobs for Dawkins. Carr coming in behind. Robey had sealed off the front.
Here's the pass, lobbed under by Spanarkel. Right there, the contact coming over as Carr helped Robey to try and defend against Dawkins.
There's a new sports magazine about to come out. Newsweek's going to publish it, called Inside Sports, and guess who graces their first cover? Number 53, Big Darryl Dawkins. Interesting story about Darryl, how he came out of Florida, played down in high school, raised by his mother along with a couple of other children. Only saw his daddy about 3 or 4 times, who moved up to Brooklyn. Went to work in New York. He has matured an awful lot in the last few years, hasn't he? Those of you who remember that night that he and Maurice Lucas got into it in that championship series, he's a lot better player now. M.L. Carr swings around and puts it in.
Great move. Carr's a smart player, too, Brent. Put the shoulder down and made a good right to left move and then dived right in and laid the ball up.
Bobby Jones sends it back to Henry Bibby. Mix will turn on Carr. Kind of a clear out on that side. And he just shoots it up short over him. Bird with a hand. Dawkins runs it down. Dawkins quickly to Spanarkel. Here's ML. Swooping in, influenced by Dawkins. And it'll go over to the 76ers.
He really influenced him, Big Dawkins. Look at that. Well, he come flying over his shoulder. That shot went about 3 feet over the basket.
Hot Rod, Darryl bought a house recently, and it has a swimming pool in the backyard and a bird bath in the front. And it says that he won't put water in either one because he can't stand the thought of somebody drowning.
Especially him.
He's going to build a garden in his pool.
Chocolate thunder. There he jumps it on into Ford. Chris was fouled as he came up on Spanarkel.
That's another good feed from Bird, Russ. That's, I think, one reason he's such a great player. He'll hit the open man and he hits him right on time.
Archibald sends it to Robey. Ford working in close to the basket with Spanarkel on him. Now he comes out the left side. Carr puts it down, and as he came through, scored on the continuation, and Mix fouled him. He'll come up to the line. Chance for a three-pointer by ML.
The reason why the fans don't like it because it is a continuation move. He was fouled on the dribble, but his momentum was going to the basket, and it counts.
ML Carr, and he's all part of the package that has the Boston Celtics in line for that first draft choice. He signed as a free agent, and part of the compensation sent Bob McAdoo to the Pistons and some first-round draft choices to the Celtics, one of which they'll cash in this year.
You would think the Celtics made out in that deal, wouldn't you?
Yes, you certainly would. Knocked away. Bibby put it inbounds now for the 76ers.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Spanarkel. Here's Bobby Jones on the cut. Rattled in. Mix had a hand on it. And it'll go to the Celts. 29 all with 47 seconds to go in the first period. The Boston Celtics with the best record in the NBA. Robey has got the Celts ahead.
That's a great pass. Bird in traffic, and he spotted Robey coming down the lane and hit him with a no-look pass.
Spanarkel in and out, and Dawkins knocked Larry Bird into the next county.
Oh, pardon me. I'd like to go through if you don't mind.
Look at this, Russ. Here he comes. Take that. Teach that rookie to get all that ink.
If we were to list players who are stronger, strength alone, than Darryl Dawkins, where would we start? Gilmore? Lanier?
How about Dawkins?
I wouldn't think either one of them.
Maybe Maurice Lucas.
I wouldn't say stronger.
Okay.
Although, you know, strength is like, well, I hate to say it, it's almost like money. After you reach a certain point,
Don't say
Brent,
it. Stop.
with a guy like you, so you know about that. After you got so much, After that, it has no value. You know, you got all that strength now. What Dawkins has learned to do, and is learning to do, at his young age, learn how to use that strength.
Paul Salas is a good example of that. Over the years, at only 6'7", became a great rebounder by using his body well.
Quick pass to Mix from Spanarkel. Lead to ML. Boy, the Celts will break off a hoop at the other end as quick as any team in the NBA. And we've come to the end of the first period with the Boston Celtics leading the Philadelphia 76ers 32-31. And another reminder, our playoff coverage starts next Friday night on CBS. We'll be right back. Showtime in Philadelphia. Number 44, Pistol Pete Maravich is about to check in, and boy, he has turned in some impressive minutes for Bill Fitch and the Celtics here down the stretch, particularly in the fourth quarter.
Brett, he's committed only 7 turnovers in his last 7 games. That's a remarkable statistic.
He used to do that in 5 minutes.
That's right, and 3 of those 7 were offensive fouls, which in the NBA is classed as a turnover. So
well, you know, I think the difference is, you know, when he first came in the league, he joined a team that had won the conference championship the year before when he came with Atlanta. And they made a decision that all these guys who just won a championship would have to adjust to Pete. Now he's come in with Boston, and he's going to adjust to Boston. That's going to make him a better player right there. Just in other words, that's the attitude difference between the two franchises.
Mix goes inside to Bobby Jones. As he came through, he was pushed. You mentioned Maravich about the adjustment, Bill. If I'm not mistaken, the biggest thing they had to adjust to was his salary when he joined that team. He came in as a rookie and got a lot more bread than Bridges, Caldwell, and Hudson and those guys down there who had put together an excellent team under Richie Guerin. That's sometimes very, very hard for veterans to accept. I'll tell you one of the players who's done a good job with that is Larry Bird, the high-salaried rookie. To a man, the Celtic players will tell you that he adapted, came in, he's part of the group.
Well, you know, the veterans don't begrudge a guy making money if he's going to come in and contribute. But like I said, in the Atlanta situation, at that time, they told all these guys the year before he won the conference championship, okay, now you guys have got to not only adjust to the fact that he's going to make more money than all of you, but you've got to play the way he wants to play. And it was not a winning way.
That was ML at the other end. Now Spanarkel responds for Philly. Bird was fouled that time. Bobby Jones coming up over his back. We're tied at 34 for a game that really has no significance. Well, there is something that could happen here. There isn't much. Actually, Philadelphia stands to gain something if they win, if Los Angeles should happen to lose to Golden State. Then if the 76ers and the Lakers would play for the title, Philadelphia would have the odd game advantage, but it's really such a long shot, I hate even to bring it up. Quick pass by Dawkins, strike 3.
Like a sidearm curve.
Nick sends it back, and here's Bibby with a high arch. Now it's Bird's turn. Quickly to Gerald Henderson. ML's open, as he has been most of the game.
Are you trying to tell us something, Brett?
Who's guarding that man?
Yeah, I was watching Bird on his rebounding. And he's a classic example of what I was talking about in some of the games before, that the key to rebounding is position first. He goes for a good position because a good rebounder starts for the rebound before the shot's taken, actually.
Here's the play a moment ago. Bird on the rebound. As you mentioned, Russ, perfect position. He didn't have to jump. Outlet pass was on the money. Down court to ML Carr. He's still alone, Brent.
So Fernston fouling Dawkins, and Darryl steps up to the free throw line. ML Carr leading the Celts with 13 points.
I think that Billy Cunningham's going to have to get a program and get Carr's number so he can show the guys who's regarded and say, now this is what he looks like in the program.
Lionel Hollins back in for Philadelphia. Boy, he looks to me like he gets bigger every Sunday, Dawkins.
Gerald Henderson, number 43, sends it to Larry. He'll have his hands full with Bobby Jones. Maravich comes right down the middle, dishes back over to Bird. Fouled, and Larry will step up to the free throw line. We're also going to have a timeout. with 10 minutes. Here is Larry sending it back to Bobby Jones, and then it was Pistol.
Once you
And
get
watch
fouled,
Larry here.
you'll get fouled on a good head and shoulder move to the hoop. Right there, Hollins knocked the ball away and got him for the foul. We got a timeout, Brent.
We'll be right back in the Spectrum. A game of significance to the Houston Rockets and Moses Malone as they trail Indiana by 3. And of course, if the Rockets win it, they would have the advantage against San Antonio.
Now, that was a 5-second violation of inbounds pass. Sometimes it is better not to try to make the pass. Because if you don't have a guy open and you got to try to throw a cross-court pass, it's to your disadvantage because they can end up with a layup if you throw it. Better than if you give them, let them get the ball out of bounds.
Maravich rebounds for the Celts. Off miss, brings it down. Pull-up shot, just short. And Eric Bernstein
What
right
a
up with
chip.
Dawkins.
That's a remarkable play, Brent. Coming right to left across the lane and reach back right here. Watch this tip.
San Francisco centers. Never
Unreal.
forgot how.
Shades of the rust.
Looked at those old black and white films. Those old slow guys back in the mid-50s. Hollins coming in. Henderson was on it. And there was a foul there by the young man.
Here's the move. Lionel Hollins, a left-hander. And Henderson moved right into him, crashed into him with a body. Good call.
So here's Hollins out of Arizona State. You might recall that he flew all night after that trade. Came here to the Spectrum.
We had him on television that day, Sunday.
And he played pretty well. In fact, he played better that day than he's doing today.
Bird's going out for the first time. Larry Bird.
So the Celts will have Henderson, Carr, Fernston, Maravich, and Judkins on the floor. Jeff Judkins is out of Utah. Second year as a pro. He'll wear number 32. Henderson comes around Fernston. Spanarkel. Spanarkel slows it up and quickly goes into Dawkins.
He rattled the 24-second clock above the backboard with that dunk. Look at this. Wow.
Don't break any glass today, Darryl. We got a golf tournament and an auto race coming up.
I think maybe they might have reinforced the baskets here in Philadelphia.
Doc popping out on Maravich, and there's a whistle as the ball rolled over to the sideline. Spanarkel was there too.
53 from the back, bumps, here.
Here's Pistol Pete, moving under the basket without the ball. I want you clear back to the right side. Dawkins has to go to him. The ball gets away from Pete.
Foul on Dawkins is number 3, Hot Rod. Boy, Darryl Griffin put on a show for you yesterday out in Las Vegas. I don't know how any team in the NBA can pass up him. Boy, does he look good. Spanarkel had it off his leg out of bounds. Celts with the ball. 39-38, the Sixers lead the Celts. 8:29 with Caldwell Jones checking back in.
In 1 week, Darryl Griffin was MVP in the NC2A tournament with Louisville, and then the following week, most valuable player in the East-West All-Star game.
Alley-oop, and Maravich got it back in bounds, but the 76ers in a little bit too far for the pistol. Hollins moves it quickly now to Bernard Toon, number 3. Caldwell Jones, all white on that side of the glass.
Spanarkel blocked the man away. They couldn't get to him.
Pistol, and he was taken away on that move to the hoop, and there's going to be a foul.
Oh, this ball foul on the rebound.
Here's the play right there. They call the foul. Fans don't like it. The Caldwell Jones called for the foul.
I didn't like it either.
No, wasn't a good one.
But who cares about that?
Judkins.
I care, Russ.
Maravich on the move
Rod,
inside.
you're a little slow with that one. You don't really care.
Bobby Jones sends it now to Toon. Jump left-hander short. Maravich leads Henderson on the move. Crowd wanted traveling. That's why that roar went up here in the Spectrum. 41-40, Sixers lead it by a point. Now Cunningham is up saying, how many steps does he get? He came down the wing and took an extra one in plain view of everybody.
That's a pretty good move, Brady. Put the ball way out in front of him and then ran up to it.
Timeout
Perfectly
in
legal.
Philadelphia.
Which is
And remember our doubleheader next Sunday. The playoffs begin. Dolly Parton look-alike contest scheduled here for later today in the Spectrum. Hot Rod must be back in town. We've got 7:26 to go. Julius Erving is not playing because there is fluid on the knee. I was talking to Julius. He was in getting some Whirlpool treatment before the game. He rates the Lakers the team to beat, but said he's awfully impressed by the way the Celtics have put their game back together this year. That they are an unselfish group, and they're definitely the club to beat in the East. As Jones goes in behind Princeton, and the Sixers build a three-point lead on the Celts. The Celts are here without Dave Cowens. Cowens, though, will be all right for the playoffs. Maravich had worked out with the 76ers, and a lot of people thought he was going to sign here, but Red Auerbach beat the 76ers to the signature. Henderson short, battle for the loose. Celts with control. Henderson will dribble it back out now as they get a fresh 24. Maravich moves it to Judkins. And Carr is wrapped up by Bernard Toon. I think that was his instructions.
Got
an offensive foul.
That's on Maravich. He cut under the basket, then tried to come back outside and go across the lane. And they got him for charging. Watch him cut without the ball. Right there, boom. Down goes Spanarkel and Maravich.
Well, one of the key elements to the playoffs is going to be injuries. Injuries are just as much a part of the game as free throws. And so none of the teams, the good teams, don't use injuries as an excuse for why they won a loss. That's just part of the game.
Funston going for the rebound, and ML had to give it up because he was in so far. That's why they misfired on that drive to the hoop.
And so one of the things that the team's going to have to learn and be ready to adjust to is the fact that one of the key players may get injured and not be able to play some of the playoff games. And they have to know what combinations they can use if that occurs. Effectively, that is.
Spanarkel putting it down for the Sixers, and he's fouled. And Bill, to follow up on that point, this year they're going to condense the playoffs. As a matter of fact, we'll probably be done with the championship series earlier than when we started a year ago. And it does mean the teams are going to be playing on back-to-back nights. Bigger emphasis on the bench, and as Bill Russell said, injuries now are going to be so important when we start these playoffs.
If it goes 7 games in the championship series, that game would be on May 18th, which is 2 weeks exactly shorter than when it concluded last year.
Hollins maneuvering, and from the right baseline, Lionel puts the Sixers up by 5:40 to go. We'll show you Julius Erving's great move in Madison Square Garden Thursday night to pull out a heartbreak over the New York Knicks in a game that would have put the Knicks into the playoffs if they had been able to win it. That's one of our highlights. Pistol short, and Eric Funston hustling. Loose ball foul called as he had his hands on the ball.
Maravich has had several shots, Brent. They've been short, like that one. They've been wide open. He floats around, and they look for him. They wanted Maravich to be a scorer, and he's done that for him, and he saved them in a couple of games.
He had shot 57% from the field in 3 games this week coming in here, scoring 16 points in 64 minutes of court time. So he's off a touch, as Archibald pointed out. Eric Funston returning to the NBA after having played some pro ball over in Europe. And here comes Clint Richardson, number 4. He's out of Seattle. He went to one of your camps you had mentioned earlier.
And he managed to survive it.
He's a good player despite it.
Right. He's smart enough not to listen to me.
Are you one of those camp guides who show up, or do you just sell your name and rip everybody off?
After my 18 every day, I'm there the rest of the day.
Good.
I get up at 6 and play
But first
golf.
the 18.
First the 18. You got to keep things keep the priorities straight.
He also lives in Seattle, too.
There, he's tied up. We got to jump ball. How you play so much golf out there in Seattle when it rains all the time?
What's rain got to do with anything?
This kid started, Brent Richardson, for quite a while early. Then after they got Hollins, he went to the bench.
Toon on the jumper with that high arch. ML controls. Back to ML. And a give and go, and he dishes Funston. Nice play. Boy, ML Carr has been impressive.
One thing you'll notice about all of the Celtics, and that's the key to their offense, is after you pass, you cannot stand there and watch the other guy. When you pass, you've got to move. You can't stay in the same spot. Because if you do, a team can actually zone you because you don't overload it. But if they try to zone and you're moving, you always have the zone overloaded and you get good shots.
Judkins responds to Spanarkel.
Great jump shooter. He just took off after the basket and was wide open down in that left corner. Spanarkel made a good move too, Brent. Right to left, and he reached back with the right hand to bank that shot in.
Toon. 3-point. Sixer lead, 49-46. 4 minutes, 15 seconds left in the half, and Henderson comes on through, and it's a 1-point game again. Good stretch of shooting right here. Hollins off that time. Carr to Henderson, batted over to the pistol. He waits to see what Caldwell's going to do, and then lays it up high.
You notice how high he shot that ball? In case Caldwell Jones was going to try and block it, he laid it right up the top of the backboard.
He used to do that to Wilt Chamberlain all the time. He used to kid him. He said, I'm going to put it up just an inch higher than you can reach. Wilt used to get furious. Come on, little guy, I'll swat that away. Come on in here again.
He got one of them, and then the pistol shot it up in the rafters, and the next one made it.
With the Spanarkel, Judkins in on him. Here's the shot now.
Watch how high he puts the ball up. Here's Caldwell Jones. Watch Pete softly, way up high on the glass. Right there. Beautifully done. Could you have got it, Russ?
If I had been there, he wouldn't have shot it, Rod. Would not have shot it.
I guarantee you. He would have dribbled it right on out the corner.
It's been an enormous pleasure to work with two modest men this year.
Hey, Rod, because he would say, who's this old guy out here?
3:39. It's Spanarkel's free throw. And it's 51-50. Sixers lead it by a point now. 76ers came in here averaging 21 turnovers a game. They've committed only one so far here in the Spectrum this afternoon, so they're definitely not playing their game. Fernston. Yanked down by Spanarkel. Here's Richardson. Sixers up by a point now. Richardson as Jones rolls off the pick.
Beautiful. Perfect timing. There's Larry Bird looking on.
We're going to have a timeout here in the Spectrum. Seeing Bird, of course, reminds me that our playoff coverage on CBS will start next Friday night. We'll have a game from Portland against either Seattle or Phoenix. Then on Sunday, we'll have our doubleheader as the second season gets underway on CBS. The preceding announcement was furnished as a public service by the National Basketball Association. Boston Celtics trailing the Philadelphia 76ers by 3, and it has been the Celtics' running game that has been their most impressive weapon. 23 of their 50 points have been fast break points. This time they will set up a play off the inbounds pass. Now it's Jeff Judkins out high. Spanarkel with him. Maravich. And he's still just a touch off, Hot Rod.
Right short again. It hit the front of the iron and kicked away.
Richardson hands back to Caldwell. Jump hook.
Beautiful shot. See more
Good
centers
pass,
in the
too.
league using that type of shot, the jump hook.
Henderson and Carr play catch, right side Celts. Judkins down the middle, cut off. Maravich maneuvers down the middle. Judkins pops back. And he runs into Bernard Toon, offensive foul.
That one hurt. Lost his control completely.
Hollins, Richardson, Spanarkel, Jones, and Toon. Rather interesting alignment for the 76ers, who now have Spanarkel up there at a guard spot. I'm sorry, a forward spot I meant. And the guard, Richardson, worked his way underneath.
Got to wait for Maravich. Cut the baseline back to the left side. Then reversed right under the basket right for the layup.
One of the keys to both of these teams are the picks that they set away from the ball on the weak side. And the little guys working pretty well. They get the shots inside because they use the picks very well, especially the Celtics. But the 76ers, they do a great job with the weak side picks too.
Judkins scoring that basket, pulling the Celtics to within 5, 57-52.
And I was going to say, when I say weak side, that means the side of the court away from the ball.
Toon, short, here's ML. Applying offensive pressure, he's tripped up as he went down.
Well, he can do a lot of things. Like that time he was handling the middle of a fast break. He could play at a guard as a playmaker or a shooter, and he could play forward.
It reminds me a little bit of John Havlicek. Not necessarily style of play, but in what he means to the Celtic team. Backcourt, frontcourt, good speed, Bill.
Yeah, that's like giving the coach two players. And so in a case like this, like ML Carr and John Havlicek, sometimes like giving the coach three players because they can go out and play three different positions, so to speak, equally as well. And it's almost like a personality change comes over. Because when he has to play a big guy, he has to think strong, you know, for pushing and shoving for the rebounds. Then he's got to think to run the fast break. He's got to keep his head up and dribble the ball looking up. And then rebound, you got to think strong. So you got a guy can almost change his personality to play 3 positions.
Rubbing the right wrist. That's what he injured when he went down.
Not real bad. You can tell by that free throw.
Here it is. He caught himself with his right hand, right here, when he went down.
Right.
He did trip himself up, didn't he? I thought maybe he came up cross tomb, but he certainly did not. So the foul called on ML Carr's left leg, and ML hits the free throws. It's 57-54 Sixers over the Celtics. Now we've got 1:14 to go here in the first half.
Well, what happened, he got hit, and he ran 2 more steps. You've done that, haven't you?
Yes.
You ever get hit, Brent?
Of course. Spanarkel comes inside. Missing the layup.
Better be nice, does he? Don't get hit again, huh?
Judkins. He was fouled.
Brent, who hit you?
Hot rod.
Oh, okay. I just want to find out.
Judkins went to the basket from the left side that time to get the foul. He's going to get a couple of free throws. Both clubs are in the penalty. 3 to make 2. It could play a lot more time with a lot of teams in this league if it wasn't for Boston having such great talent. Keeps him out of the game. Good player.
Well, you know, Rod, I've heard that said about quite a few players. But it may not be necessarily so. Because a team that plays the way this team plays brings out the best in the player. And so that he looks as well as he can possibly look.
Certainly brought out the best in you.
You better believe it.
We're inside of a minute here in Philadelphia. The Sixers leading the Celts by a point. And it goes over on the turnover. Offensive foul against the Sixers, and now the Celtics can seize the lead. Let's see who will take the shot. They trail by 1, 57-56, 44 seconds. 76ers realize they've got at least one more trip for sure down the floor.
They're looking for Maravich on the double screen.
Richardson's trying to stick with him pretty good, too, Hot Rod.
He did. He got right through the pick. Good move defensively by Clint Richardson.
Here's Carr. He had it knocked away. Judkins regains control. Missing, and it's ML at a fresh 24 laying in off an offensive rebound. ML Carr with an impressive first half here in Philly, and the Celtics lead it by 1. Now, last shot time for the 76ers as we go down toward 10 seconds. Hollins, generally outstanding in last-second situations. Missing that time, and the Celtics can run it out. They're going to go in with a halftime lead. Boston Celtics leading Philadelphia 58-57. Coming up at halftime, we'll have highlights. We're going to show you that tough loss the New York Knicks experienced in the Madison Square Garden on Thursday night against the 76ers. And again, a reminder, our playoff coverage starts Friday night on CBS and a doubleheader next Sunday. So with Larry Bird relatively quiet in that first half, coming away with just 6 points, ML Carr picks up the scoring slack for the Celtics as he tosses in 17. Pistol Pete Maravich also quiet with just 1 field goal. As far as the 76ers are concerned, 2 unlikely players lead the list. Caldwell, Jones, and Henry Bibby, 12 points apiece, and Darryl Dawkins with 10. And of course, the doctor, Julius Erving, not playing because of an injury.
The NBA on CBS is sponsored by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Black & Decker's Workmate. When you've got a tough job to handle, it's like having an extra pair of hands. And by Denorex Shampoo. Help stop dandruff itch with an extra relief medicine, Denorex.
Ready to go with the second half from the Spectrum, and for Billy C. and the Philadelphia 76ers, it'll be Jones, Mix, Dawkins, Spanarkel, and Bibby, and Hot Rod Hundley. While we've got a moment, we should again pass along our best wishes to Jack McMahon, who's not with the 76ers because he suffered a heart attack earlier this season. And with Jack out, Chuck Daly has had to leave the sideline over there. He will scout the bullets in the nets this afternoon, and Billy C. will join him. Going to make a mad dash down the freeway as soon as this one's over.
We should alert the New Jersey Highway Patrol.
Yeah, Russ and I both played against Jack McMahon, and we do wish him well. Fine man, has done a great job as a coach in this league, too.
Chris Ford was fouled. The ball was inside to him, and Bobby Jones and Spanarkel had him sandwiched there. and foul that time.
You know, Brent, a lot of times we talk about bench strength, and we talk about how many points the bench scored. But I think more often than not, the guys come off the bench are better defensive players than the guys that start in a lot of situations. And so that the scoring, when they outscore the other team's bench, is a bonus because they're usually expected to play the hard-nosed defense much more so, or rebound and things like that. And so the contributions, like a player like a Bobby Jones or M.L. Carr, a lot of times overlooked because they do other things besides score.
Bill Fitch was just assessed a technical foul, and the reason why he's smiling is before the game I said a lot of intensity and a lot of fire, Coach Fitch. Want to see you get at it today. Wouldn't even mind if you had a technical, and he said only if you pay it. And I said, okay.
So get your billfold out. The reason he had a good argument, Bernstein had set up a perfect defensive position. The Spanarkel ran right over it and knocked him down, and they called the foul against Bernstein. That got him the technical.
Bibby sends it back now. Spanarkel was short on the shot, and it goes over.
Got a loose ball foul.
And that is the second foul against Mix here, Hot Rod. It's 58-57. Celts over the Sixers. We have told you about Dave Cowens. We've stressed Julius Erving. And don't forget that fine forward, Cornbread Maxwell of the Celtics. Not out here because of an injury either. He's being rested.
And
Bill
Maravich
Pitt said
is not playing either, who's the starting guard for the 76ers.
Bill Pitt said he told the trainer to tape up one leg with so much tape he couldn't get a shoe on, and then just put a Band-Aid on the other one. And maybe he'll get the message we don't want him to play.
Robey, how many chances does he want? He can't believe he missed that shot.
He shot them all right-handed.
That was it? You were right early. Shoot those left-handed.
He had an intimidator standing beside him, too, named Dawkins.
Bibby was short. Off Robey's hand. Bibby follows up.
Henry started quickly in the first quarter. He got 12 points. Comes right out here in the third period and gets a quick basket.
Archibald. Mix switches out. Here's forward. Dawkins out on Chris. They go inside to Robey. Missing again, but still another rebound.
There's the left hand.
Left hand. Nothing to it when he goes to that hand, Russ.
That's amazing. He misses so many righties in close, and then made a beautiful left-hand shot. Watch him go underneath. Dawkins there. He has to shoot it with the left hand. And put it off the glass with his back to the hoop. That's a tough move.
I think he's a closet lefty. You know that?
Closet lefty.
Dawkins whips it back to Spanarkel.
He's made his mark here, Spanarkel. Good move.
Ford breaks free inside of Spanarkel at the other end.
He was counting his points and he forgot to get back on defense.
Maurice Cheeks, of course, will have to carry a heavy burden for the 76ers. He suffered a slight concussion the other night in New York. He ran into young Cartwright and Mix muscles in the hoop for the 76ers. So we go seesawing here in the third. 9:18 to go in at 63-62. 76ers up by a point. Now it's the Celtics' turn to shoot it for the lead, and Bird dishes back Archibald to save. He was out of bounds.
See how quick Bird made that little pass, no looker, even though it was wide of Archibald. The thought was right. And normally he'll be right on the money with that play.
No, we've got a timeout in Philadelphia. Friday night we'll be in Portland. It'll be game 2, either Seattle and the Blazers or Phoenix and the Blazers. Hot Rod, were you influenced by Bird's reputation in praising this one?
Watch this no-looker. The old flip. 33 on your program, number 1 in your heart.
All right, Bibby puts it on the floor now for the 76ers. 63-62, Sixers over the Celtics. 9:04 to go here in the third as the regular season comes to an end today. With still 3 questions to be answered as far as the playoffs are concerned, but no big ones right here. Jones on the turnaround.
Offensive foul.
Foul.
Took that right arm in as he went across the lane with a left-hand shot. Here it is. Right there with that right arm. He pushed Bird away as he hooked the ball up with the left hand.
And that's the 5th foul against Bobby Jones. Bird sends it back to Archibald. Jones going right with Larry. Offensive foul.
Right back at you.
Pressure from Archibald on Bibby. Robey is on Dawkins. Spanarkel sends it now to Henry. They'll go back to Spanarkel down the middle, and Larry Bird came over and fouled him.
You know, I think, Brent, Larry Bird's not going to win any Emmys. You know, he's had a great year, but on the TV games, he hasn't really shown the fans all the things that he does so well.
Except in overtime of the All-Star game.
Yeah.
You ever forget that pass when he batted the ball looking the other way down in the middle lane?
Unbelievable.
Never forget that. Never? Probably never.
He made a good effort there, even though he got the foul. Somebody's got to pick up when a man's coming down that middle, and Bird left his defensive position to move in on Spanarkel and got the foul.
Here's Larry. He's short there. Spanarkel swings out, and Steve Mix helps him up.
Look at that speed.
The old mixer. Ford gamble. Bibby gets it back. Well, Spanarkel will come inside. Offensive foul is called, but Spanarkel's not afraid to get down there in the middle, is he?
Not at all. Looked like Mix bumped into him and knocked him in to another man. Watch it. Right there he crashed into Bird as he whipped it back to Mix.
Oh, Blue Devil. Archibald down the middle, had daylight and missed the layup. Jones is off. Tiny will hustle back now, and here's Bibby. Bibby quickly away, but it goes to Mix. Dawkins sends it. There's Spanarkel again, coming right down the middle.
Good pass. Dawkins started to go up to shoot that ball and spotted his man right at the last second.
Spanarkel turning in some impressive minutes a week ago. Here's Robey.
More left than right.
He had to lean a little bit to his left to get away from Dawkins.
Funston off to Chris Ford. Archibald coming inside. Robey blocks Bibby out of the way.
Well, he sees daylight as quick as anyone, and the hole was there, and Archibald went right to it.
1 point lead by the Sixers. 6:39 in the third. Mix makes it 3. 10 points for Mix. Started in place of the injured Julius Erving.
Oh, Mixer's been around a long time. He does the job.
I'll tell you one thing, he doesn't have to worry about slowing down.
No, sir. He's already there.
Funston. And it was hit by Philly. The Celtics will put it in play. We're going to have a timeout.
There's the ball knocked away.
6 minutes and 16 seconds to go in the third, and Philadelphia leading Boston by 3. Don't forget the Grand Prix West coming up from Long Beach, California. The Celts and the 76ers, one of basketball's richer traditions, and they could square off for the Eastern Conference Championship before this is over, too. There's a defensive player out there we're going to take a good look at against Larry Bird, and that's Bobby Jones. He has worked very diligently against Larry, denying him the ball. He's coming out, and this time they pick Jones off, and Bird goes to the shot and hits it. You get rid of Bobby Jones, give Larry some daylight, and he'll burn you.
Here's the play again. Watch Bobby, though. He'll fight, try to get through this screen. He can't get to him. Bird head and shoulder faked him away, and right there he was picked off. Still comes after him, but Bird hit the shot.
Back to Steve Mix at the offensive end for the 76ers. Offensive foul, no basket. Put it away and send them up at the other end. Now and here come the Celts. Chris Ford will call the play. We go 69-68. Sixers up by a point. Celtics can regain the lead. So that time it was strong Rick Robey with the screen. Bird and Robey on the double screen. Jones comes out with Larry now. Now Jones comes back with hm, throws the jumper up, and Larry is starting to warm to the occasion now.
You can't do any more than that. He's right on him.
So throughout much of the game, it has been the defensive player, Jones, who's had the edge, giving away 5 fouls in the process. At the other end, Bird dueling him away from Spanarkel. Chris Ford will go after it. Spanarkel regains it. Archibald gambles. It's 5-on-3. Dawkins will shoot it up outside. Puts the Sixers up by 1, 71-75, 15 in the third now. Mix matched against Robey again. Jones, Bird underneath, low on the right side. Robey will come over on the double screen on that right side now. Jones watching Larry every moment of the time out there. Ford wants to get it into him. Jones with a hand on it. And what a great one-on-one duel we've got going right now between Jones and Bird.
The pass wasn't thrown to the left shoulder side away from Jones, and he gets a hand on it. He's fronting Bird nicely, and right there, hustle play, right over his shoulder, knock it out of bounds.
Inside on the missed shot. Celtics regain it, however. Fresh 24. Tiny wheels out high to set it up now. Calls out the shooter. Bird pops out, jump pass to Chris Ford. Ford, no, offensive foul is called. It's going to go over to the Sixers. 71-76.
They're really playing hard, Brent. That's a good defensive play once again. A lot of good defense in this game. Bird drops a pass off. Now watch Chris Ford drive right in. Spanarkel was there, and he ran over him for the charge.
Game that doesn't mean much to either team, but if you're a professional athlete, you still love to compete. That's what it's all about, whether it's in racquetball, NBA, college basketball. And Jones and Bird are really having at it right now. Bibby trying to get away with tiny Archibald, drew the foul that time as he swung into it.
This is what I was talking about, Brent, and that the coaches said, well, we'll just play the guys and get the game over with. And the guys are getting into a thing where they're trying to establish turf, so to speak. They're trying to establish, in case they meet these guys again in the playoffs, that they'll know.
Spanarkel threw the ball right at Bird. Knocked out of bounds, and the 76ers will keep it. He was going to underhand the ball. He didn't realize Bird had come over there to seal him up. See that? Spanarkel hits Jones beautifully. Bobby broke away. Now it is 73-70. Sixers up by 3 at 4:19, and here's Eric Fernston. Dawkins is right there. Larry comes back down. Three-point chance. Off. Dawkins with a hand. Eluded him. Celts. Robey. Robey misfiring. Loose. Bibby will go after it for the Sixers. He'll have to slow it down. Spanarkel was cut off on the right. Now Mix breaks free. And it's a 5-point Sixer lead. 3:59 left in the third.
They're getting after it now. Getting a little mean under the boards.
Bird comes in low on the right. Ford goes to pick off Bobby. He's right there with him. Circles outside. Robey out far from the hoop. Mix is there. Dawkins with Fernston. Now it's the little man. Dishing to Fernston inside. Dawkins sealed him up. Fernston gets it back and hits the hoop.
He threw that first one up from the hip with Dawkins there. Fortunately, it came right back to him, and he got a second try.
3-point Sixer lead. Archibald and Bibby got right inside of it. Nice move by Henry Bibby. Even against the bigger man, got the high arch on the shot. Now it's quickly tiny Archibald to Robey, and Dawkins and score it goaltending.
What a great feed from Archibald. Watch this pass. Going left to right, no looker. Cross court wide open as Robey. And then Dawkins came to trap it on the glass, goaltending.
77-74. Sixers up by 3. They have control. Young Jim Spanarkel brings Chris Ford with him. Spanarkel has liked the middle. They've taken that away here the last few trips. This time they go into Spanarkel, who worked the baseline. Back to 5 now. They have not gone through Larry Bird the last couple of trips, and they won't this time either. Short. Dawkins off. One hands it out to Spanarkel. Left-hand dribble coming in, and Chris Ford fouled him.
Hey, Spanarkel has played well. Fans are giving him a big hand, appreciating the way he has played. Look at that move to the basket, and Ford reached down to grab him to get the foul.
So it picked up a little bit here in the Spectrum, and the good basketball fans that they are in Philadelphia respond accordingly. 2:42 to go in the third. 79-74 Sixers. Start off tonight on CBS with the reality of 60 Minutes, and then we'll have Carol O'Connor entertain you with Archie Bunker's Place. Sunday night on CBS, the place where everyone is on Sunday evening. 2:42 here to go in the third. 79-74. Sixers over the Celtics, and here's the young man from Duke.
He'll get a couple of free throws. They have 14 points today, and he's only been averaging 4.6 on the year. But he's getting a lot of playing time in this game.
Tying his career high, which he can now bust with a free throw.
Well, he says it's hard to score where he's been sitting.
Give me that PT playing time.
Doug Hollins out for the playoffs. We just might see Spanarkel in that playoff series.
The wrap
will
on
go against either the Bullets or the Knicks, depending on what happens later today. All right, the Celtics go back now, trailing it by 6. Jones is out on Bird. Eric Fernston. Rattled one out. Mix is off now, and here comes Spanarkel handling the ball. Bounce pass over to Dawkins. Jump pass off to Bobby Jones. Nice pass by Darryl.
Just say a moment ago, Brett, that the knock on Spanarkel is that he's not fast. He's very slow. But in this game, he's made some pretty quick moves.
Well, he's demonstrated some courage going inside time after time. He's so not afraid to go. Oh, Archibald broke free. They couldn't get over there on him. Man picked off completely.
He had a real clear out there. There wasn't a soul left on the right side of the court.
That was a play.
All the way.
Well executed at that.
Sixers are up by 6 at 1:49 here in the third period against the team that has made the greatest turnaround in the history of the league, the Boston Celtics. Dawkins going to be short. Celtics have got it down. You realize the Celtics have won as many games this year as they did in each of the 2 previous years. And there's Robey, offensive foul. And Robey is unhappy by that call.
Made an excellent move as he got to the free throw line. He went to the left. You look again. Right here, Spanarkel got out of the way, but he was moving on the play, and they called the charge. I thought it should go the other way.
That's another gutty move. Now watch Spanarkel here. You get one of them big thoroughbreds coming down on you.
Except that the defensive man has to have established position, which he had not. And that, again, was a bad call.
But position has nothing to do with courage. Even if you're moving a little bit, you're taking a pretty good shot at there sometimes.
He doesn't know he's not supposed to do that.
Bobby Jones breaks out to help him.
Here he goes.
Time left, and here he comes. And this time Robey went with him and no foul call. Back now to Archibald. Whips it over to Chris Ford. He wants a three-point chance. Bobby Jones got a hand on it inside of Larry. Dawkins deflected. Here's Robey, and Bobby picks it back up. Here comes Jones.
Oh, he just had enough left at the end to dunk the ball. Boy, he floated for a long time on that one. Look at it again, Brett. Here he comes, and right at the last second, he slapped it down.
Sixers build an 8-point margin here on the Celts. Bibby with Tiny. Maneuvers back to Fernston.
We'll call him Bernstein. He made that one.
49 seconds in the third. Across the midcourt line to Bobby Jones. Slows it up now. Spanarkel and Bibby to the attack for the Sixers. 6.6 lead. Bernard Toon thought Dawkins was going to roll inside. Now it's Larry Bird dishing off Chris Ford inside. Robey powers and draws the foul.
Well, he met at the summit on that one. Robey had a split second of an opening there. Here's the play right here. Went down low to get an extra kick when he went up. And then Dawkins gave him a good kick.
That's what he gets from trying to shoot it right-handed.
I'll tell you, Dawkins made a great block on that before he came down into him with his body.
That was strictly power against power on that play.
He got up there with his left hand on that replay, and he really deflected that ball. And then when he fouled him coming down into it, it was close.
I think your statement earlier, Brent, about what Julius Erving said is true. He said, we'll go as far as Dawkins can take us. He's taken it pretty well today. He's having a good game.
Well, Hot Rod, as Bill Russell has pointed out several times, when you get into the playoffs, it's more intense from beginning to end, and rebounds and defense start to build in importance. It's not just shooting, and those are areas where Dawkins really must help this Sixer team off. He's got a great shooting touch outside. Richardson, number 4 on the floor for the Sixers. They lead it by 4. Richardson bringing the clock down. Shot clock down at 10. They're just about synced up. Maybe 2 seconds left beyond the shot clock. Misfiring over to the Celts now. They've got 5 seconds. And Ford breaks free, and it's a 2-point 76er lead at the end of 3 periods. So it doesn't mean much, but we're having a little fun here in Philadelphia, and our NBA playoff coverage starts Friday night on CBS from Portland.
Pete's going to come in and light him up in this quarter.
Cedric Maxwell not playing today because of an injury, and he is about to set an NBA record. Shooting percentage by a forward. He came into this game with a 60 percentage. The record is 58 by jumping Johnny Green back in 1971.
Well, you know, this game is more important to these teams than just establishing that they can beat each other. Now, both these teams know that there are a lot of teams watching them today because they're going to say, we got to play these guys. And what they want to do is establish the fact that not only they can play, but maybe give some of the teams watching something to worry about. For example, Jim Spanarkel, a lot of teams haven't seen him. So now they see that he can play. Okay, now the coach got to worry about if he's playing, what do you do? Defense him and things like that. So there's a lot at stake in a game like this. Not only keep your timing, which is the most important of all, but to establish some points, not only to the team you're playing, but to other teams.
Interesting what you said about Spanarkel. He had Larry Bird. He's been switched up to forward. And on that last trip, he was defending Bird. Richardson sends it over to Henry Bibby from the corner, and the Sixers go up by 4. Spanarkel picks up Larry Bird. He's giving away about 3 inches in height right now. Fronting him, Fernston out on the left.
I don't know if you know it, but Spanarkel is a leaper, you know, for a guard. He can really...
Caldwell Jones. He may have to leap here pretty soon.
You know, he's one of those guards that you don't know because he looks slow. You know, he can dunk the ball from the foul line almost.
Given some daylight, watching the ball over his shoulder. And they roll back the other side, and Caldwell Jones with a great defensive effort will have a jump ball.
Blocked it twice. Well, that's really hard to do, too. Watch Caldwell come over, block the shot. Robey will go back up with it, and he says, take that again. You know, your peripheral vision is blocked with that mask. That's remarkable the way he's been able to play. And that last time, offensively, when he got that tip in, it was perfect timing.
Judkins replacing Chris Ford for Bill Fitch. So it is Jones and Robey. Jones hits the ball out of bounds. So the Celtics now will set up a play. Henderson comes inside. It'll be Carr, ML.
Didn't want that shot. It's funny how they'll pass up one like that and then take another one that'll be longer.
Henderson.
Like that one.
Tapped by Carr. Judkins runs it down. Robey. Bird again maneuvering inside on Spanarkel. Here's Henderson. Comes inside. Bird, it helps screen. Missed the shot. Here's Richardson. Sixers are up by 6, 88-82.
Jamel Carr got a hand on that one, knocked it out of bounds. Richardson, on that play, should have bounced that pass, and they perhaps would have got a shot away. But they retained possession.
Will Jones, and as he came up, Robey was behind him, and Judkins was over there on the left, and he drew the foul.
He fouled him with his nose.
Oh, Mass Marvel.
Toon will throw it in. Here's Richardson. Back to Bernard and across to Spanarkel. High bounce, and it's 90-82, 9:39. Henderson on Bibby. Toon runs it down for the 76ers. Wanted Richardson. Robey with a hand on it. Bird had control, and here's Henderson back to Robey.
Got a 20-second injury
timeout.
timeout.
It's Spanarkel.
Well, he's got a cramp in his leg. He's not used to running this much in one time.
Here, you'll take a look at it again. You'll see when he gets hurt. There's Henderson with the ball for Boston. Spanarkel picks up on Larry Bird. Right here on a play coming off. Right there, he was tripped up by Bird accidentally. He says, I've done enough, I'll come out.
Does not appear to be serious. He's over getting a rub down over there from Al Domenico, and it'll be Richardson and Bibby in the backcourt. Toon, Jones, and the pistol is back for the Celtics, number 44. He's right there with Mix.
This is his quarter. Has been.
Bibby's inside with a leaner, 92-84. You can use a shooter like Pistol right now. Passed it up, sent it back to Bird. Larry will take the shot. Jones with a strong rebound.
He was fouled, loose ball foul, a little late on the call.
He was against ML Carr. 76ers, 2 team fouls against the Celts, 1 against the Sixers. Here's Toon. Short, Birds off to the Celts. Great pass to Carr. Saw it coming. Maravich staying with it, and again it was Caldwell Jones defensively for the Sixers. And he may have caught an elbow up there.
Look at that pass.
Area.
Perfect bounce between 2 players. They missed the layup. Maravich almost tipped it in. That was a super pass.
Mix backs inside of Bird, and underhand.
Used his body well there, Brent. He spread out. Got a hook Bird as he went around him. Excellent move.
Jones pops out on pistol and goes back to Robey.
That was an outstanding defensive play that Jones just did. He popped out, slowed Maravich up, and then went back to guard his man to avoid the mismatch.
Judkins hitting the hoop. It's an 8-point difference. Sixers ahead, 94-86. Richardson on a move, and Toon cleans up.
Well, there's a leaper. Bernard Toon, he was way up here.
Maravich sends to the corner, and Judkins, and Toon fouled it.
Guys, it seems so strange to watch Maravich play with this ball club, and he keeps the ball out in front of him. He has yet to put it behind his back. And all his years in the NBA, he's been, the fancy type player. Behind the back, dribbles, passes. He's a Celtic now.
I can't get used to those green knee guards. Carr, up high, mix to Bibby. And good play by Judkins, who came back, and here's Pistol.
Uh-oh.
Carr missed the layup. Heat with a hand on it twice. Batted free and right to Robey. Judkins matched up against Caldwell, and so Robey was short and went right to Jones.
There's an example of that last fast break, Brent. Pete was in the middle, 3-on-1, and he just laid it off to the right side. I thought the temptation may have been there, but he kept the ball in front of him.
Off Richardson's hand, out of bounds, goes to the Celtics. Not this time, though. He might as well shoot it. Down by 10.
Right.
They could use a little firepower right now. We're going to have a timeout.
And they cannot find the net. They can find the rim, but they can't find the net.
Jim Spanarkel will be back. He's ready to check in for Billy C. From Philadelphia, I'm Brent Musburger with Bill Russell and Hot Rod Hundley. The 76ers today are without Julius Erving and also without Maurice Cheeks. Cheeks suffered a mild concussion. Julius, with an injured right knee, is not here. The Boston Celtics with the league's best record. They are playing without Dave Cowens and also without Cornbread Maxwell. Maxwell having suffered a sprained ankle, and for Cowens, hyperextension of the right toe. Big toe on the right foot. Everybody going to be healthy for the playoffs, which is on our way this week. Our first game is Friday night. That's Jeff Judkins, 32, on the steal for the men in green, lobbing for ML Carr, who hit the hoop, and now the Celtics pull to within 8. And for Carr, that's 19 points. Robey has 19. For the 76ers, Bibby with 20, and Jim Spanarkel with 17. Spanarkel is back on the floor right now. He is number 34. Offensive foul. It'll go over to the Celts now.
That was Caldwell Jones.
Elsewhere, Houston could wrap up a home court against San Antonio if they hold on now and beat Indiana. They lead it 99-86. They are in the fourth period.
That's a very important game for Houston because they're trying for bragging rights in Texas, and those are big leads there.
You bet. Taken down by Spanarkel. Lead for Richardson, who goes in with the jump.
So Maravich should have gone straight back, and he gambled that he might be able to pick that pass off, and he got burned on the play. He had gone back straight. I think Richardson would have held the ball up.
For the men in green, we've got Maravich, Carr, Fernston hands to Judkins, and also Rick Robey on the floor. Judkins a little short, Toon muscles it off to Richardson, who hits Spanarkel. Here's Mix.
Spanarkel again set that one up, penetrating, and then dished the ball off. He brought the defense to him.
But the key to Philadelphia has been today is that they have been not afraid to challenge the Boston Celtics inside because they don't really have a guy that's going to close down the middle and block the shots and things like that. So they're going in the middle and passing off and getting good 15 to 20-foot jump shots, which are high percentage shots.
Sometimes it takes a Dave Collins who doesn't exactly bat shots away, but he will extract a toll occasionally if you come inside against him.
You'll think about the second one.
Yes, sir. Boston's had a very poor shooting quarter. Now that is just their fourth field goal, so they are 4 of 20. 4:20 to go and a 10-point Philadelphia lead. Maravich just been a touch short all game long.
He's had the shots too, Brent.
Spanarkel, then a strong man inside. Bill Russell pointing out that strong game by the 76ers and Knicks. Missing, and now it's Carr. Here's Pistol moving inside, going over to the left hand.
Oh, he moved that ball just in time because Caldwell Jones was there, and he realized the only way to get the shot off would change hands. I made a beautiful play out of it. He can get him in a hurry, you know. In fact, many players this league, Bibby for one, said that Maravich can score points faster than any basketball player he's ever seen.
Spanarkel inside to Jones, will throw up that jump hook. Pistol waits for Carr. Into Robey. Left hand short. Caldwell Jones had it knocked away. Toon with control.
The big force in this game, I think, has been Caldwell Jones. He's played real well.
Spanarkel and Judkins had a hand right there. Maravich down for the Celts. Spanarkel with 17 points, 9 assists, and 5 rebounds. That's his high in points and his high in assists. And the Sixers lead it by 10. 2:52 to go, and playoff coverage on CBS starts next Friday night and a doubleheader on Sunday. It looks as though Houston will host San Antonio in the first of the best of 3 for that battle to the bragging rights in the state of Texas. Those are huge bragging rights, aren't they? What about Roger Staubach tomorrow? He's got that news conference call down in Dallas. A lot of folks expect he's going to announce his retirement. We'll wait and see. Henderson's in with the runner for the Celts. 102-94, 2:42 to go here now. You know that twice since the All-Star break, Philadelphia has lost by 19 points to the Boston Celtics. That's the 2 worst defeats that the 76ers have suffered since the break. Dawkins missing, loose mix.
You see the way he put the shoulder into Princeton going to the basket, Dawkins on that play?
And they go inside to the young man Spanarkel. 19 adding to his career high. Judkins.
And another star is born.
Carr.
2 minutes left in this ball game.
The 2-minute announcement by Dave Zinkoff is made, and Mix dishes inside to Dawkins, but he traveled as he went to hand it off and go to the Celts.
Well, you see, he tried to hesitate, and he doesn't stay in the air long enough for the hesitation play.
You see when Dawkins had Judkins by the arm right at the end of that play, and he let him go, and Judkins smiled and patted him on the behind and said, "Thank you, big guy, for not breaking my arm."
Spanarkel went right with Pistol that time. And Spanarkel goes down out of bounds, and loose ball foul, and Maravich says, he clubbed me to the floor, and first of all, I couldn't get out of the way.
It's good defense by Pete. Watch this. When he goes down, here's Spanarkel right over. Watch Pete reach in and grab the leg, just trying to protect himself so he wouldn't step on his head. And they call a foul on Maravich.
You're supposed to take a foot in the head.
Here's the mixer. Lob to Dawkins, 1:26 on the clock. Inside.
Good pass. That was a good pass. He fumbled it.
Took it back outside. Richardson. Look out. And off now to Pistol. Behind him to Carr. Pretty feed as ML came around. It's 104.98, and the Celtics have eased to within 6 points now. 105. They're going to trap the ball, and Richardson dribbles free and want to hit Spanarkel. Touch by the Celtics. 76ers to set it up, and that's the time left in the game. 15 on that shot clock. A game that the young man from Duke has enjoyed here today. And he'll throw the inbounds pass. Richardson will give you some quick, won't he? Number 4. And they work the play pretty mixed.
There's another assist for Spanarkel on that play.
Maravich. And he's right on now. 106-100. Pressure in the backcourt by the Celtics.
Now there's a big thing about bringing out a three-point place.
Go to trap Spanarkel, and he throws it to Judkins with 40 seconds to go. Henderson dishes, hit Maravich with control. They'll need a quick shot here, and another turnover.
Here he comes. Pete's got the eye now. It's 2 quick jump shots in a row he's hit.
30 seconds to deal with that 4-point deficit, and Richardson comes through on his foul. He was trying to get through Maravich and Henderson.
You got to gamble in the backcourt on a play like that with only 29 seconds left, and they're down by 4.
The idea on the backcourt or double team is to make that ball handler try to throw the long pass. The other 3 guys have to zone so that they can shoot the gap or cut off that long pass and maybe make an interception. You don't expect the 2-on-1 to come up with the ball. That's just to make the offense make a bad pass.
Boston will probably take a timeout. They do to get the ball midcourt after that free throw.
So this gives us an opportunity again to remind you about our playoff coverage, which starts on Friday night. We would have game 2 of the Portland series. They'll be going against Seattle or Phoenix, depending on what the champions in Phoenix do today. If Seattle wins it, they would be matched against Portland. And also, we've got a timeout thanks to our executive producer, Chuck Milton, who has done his usual outstanding job. Perry Smith has produced both of our games this weekend from Los Angeles to Philadelphia. And Tony Verna returns to the hometown of Philadelphia to prove once and all that he really can call out the right camera shots. Nice job, Tony. Richard Drake, our associate producer, and Colleen Collibos again in charge of Hot Rod Hundley's travel arrangements, getting him here last night from Philadelphia. Stan Mitchell, he was in charge of all the field operations. The technical director, Robert Brown, with that great British accent, and Ed Kushner. And our audio today, Willis Webster and Dave Bova, proving the 3 guys really don't talk at once all the time, right? And our technical supervisor, videotape. The list goes on and on. Bill Russell gets all the credit, but it's really these guys behind the scene who do the job. It's really great to work with you, Russ, and get all this attention. I just love it.
Keep it up, Brent. Keep it up.
I know what Frank Gifford says about Howard Cosell. He just loves being along for the ride.
Aren't you glad Brent lets us work with him, Russ?
Oh, yeah. He lets us ride in limousine with his limousine.
His limousine all over town.
And we get to pretend we're rich, too.
So Billy C, with 29 seconds, he'd like to put this one away and get on that freeway and head on down and watch the Bullets and the Nets. They'll determine the Bullets and the Knicks' fate. And, of course, next on CBS, look at that. Johnny Miller has suddenly come alive, hasn't he? Winner a couple weeks ago. And here he is, only 1 shot behind Pate, Haffey, and Toole. I don't know Toole. Rush, you know him?
He can play golf, I can tell you that.
He sure can. That's coming up next, and then there'll be the Long Beach Grand Prix. Judkins.
They're looking for a three-pointer.
The three-pointer. Mixes there to the rebound. 23 seconds now to kill, and Maravich goes in and fouls the mixer.
Have to foul there and stop the clock, even though he'll probably hit the free throws. If Pete had been hitting earlier, I think they may have been able to pull this game out, but his shots just would not drop until it was just too late.
Bill Fitch says this is the first time he's ever been relaxed enough on a Sunday morning since the season began to go to church before the game.
He said he felt like Richard Kimball all year long, always running with somebody on his back. Finally got a chance to relax.
He says he takes that Lakers-Celtic film out over and over, and he still thinks he was robbed that day in the Boston Garden. Maravich throws one up and then off the glass. 110-104, 14 seconds, another backcourt foul.
On Maravich. He might foul out here in a minute. That last shot was like a frozen rope, the way he rifled that one off the glass. That is He's gone out. Here's the shot by Pete. Off balance, rifled it right off the glass. I don't think he was trying to bank that one, Russ.
You don't think so, huh? You mean like the blind find something?
Not the best angle, but he made it. Chris Ford's in for Maravich.
That's your three-point leader as far as percentages are concerned, and I believe Larry Bird came in here third.